How's it going, guys? It's Addy back with another season of Torchlight Infinite. This is going to be season 8, Sandlord. We've got a couple of big winners and big losers that just jumped out to me in the patch notes. So I'm going to be going over just a couple of those. There are many more other than the ones I'm going to be listing. So I do advise you to go ahead and just check out the full patch notes if you want to see that. I will have that linked in the description. If you could, go ahead and throw a like and a sub at the channel if you are enjoying or learning anything from the content. We've already hit our first goal of 1,000, and now we're working on our next goal of 2,000 subs. For anybody that helped and has already subscribed, reach that first 1,000, thank you. I very much appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and hop into this. And just as a special little shout out, I did say there were going to be 8 on this list. Let's add a 9th because the Goon Gang is just, you guys are just up. Between Mama McJiggle being so thick that the Billy boys were getting banned just for having her on stream, to now you getting your own personal goth mommy girlfriend, you guys are winning. Okay, like let's just shout out Gooner Gang. Y'all know who you are. No shame in it. You're winning. But let's get into the actual list now. Starting with two-handed weapons. Two-handed weapons are getting a massive buff this season across multiple different avenues. They're getting new affixes. They're getting an old hybrid affix that we used to have that's going to be exclusive to two-handed weapons. We're getting support via extra talents and like all sorts of things. Two-handed weapon damage is going to be astronomical this season. I expect many builds to be playing with these weapons. Moving into the number 2 slot, we've got the on-hit / erosion damage. On-hit erosion damage is not something you really see happening. Most of the time, it's wilt. On-hit is getting its own special effect called deterioration that will do true damage to enemies based on the hit damage from your erosion. It's getting all types of support. It's getting new uniques. It's getting support in the talents. It's getting supports on the kismets. It is going to be massive, on top of which the new hero Thea is an erosion themed character. I expect on-hit erosion damage and deterioration to be massive in this upcoming season, and there's lots of support to help it get there. In our number 3 slot, I've got just projectile attacks in general. They've received an overhaul to the way that they work, so they should just feel better to use now. On top of which, two-handed weapons such as bows, for example, those are also getting the two-handed buffs. So combo that with like some of the new uniques coming in. Like we're getting, if you're familiar with Nimbus from Path of Exile, we're getting Nimbus on gloves. Okay, we're getting gloves that say you have return projectiles on top of other things. So I expect projectile builds are going to be pretty popular this league and probably just like something great. I'm very much looking into a projectile build myself. Yeah, they look really good right now. Number 4 and the last on the big winner side is going to be slates. They did say that they were not happy with the state of slates. They are going to be increasing the drop rates of the Corner of Divinity. They're going to be making it cheaper for us to roll out our lower rarity modifiers on our slates. So your blue wedges and your purple wedges are going to be much cheaper to use. They're also going to be increasing how common the legendary wedges are. So we're not spending 40, 50, 60 fee just for a single legendary wedge. So that's great. We're also going to be doing some changes to cube itself and increasing the cube speed. Before we hop into some of the biggest losers, there is a special shout out, and this is going to be my number 5 for this list because I don't quite know where to put this. Time Mark 7 is going to be in an interesting spot. They're making star shards non-tradable. Star shards are going to be bind on, like they're basically going to be account bound now. And star shards are typically a very large portion of your income when you're farming tier 7s. They've also made the entry into T8 harder by giving tier 8 mobs a 100% life increase. So that wall from tier 7 to tier 8 is going to be much higher. Anybody that struggled to go from tier 7 to T8 before is definitely going to struggle even more now, I feel like. They have added some things that will be dropping in tier 7s now. So you can get like small and I believe small and medium like fates, and you can get like, you can start dropping divinity slates as low as tier 7. However, I don't know how effective that's going to be in remedying the loss of income for tier 7 farmers, especially because tier 7, you're really looking for guaranteed drops, and I don't think we're going to have like a guaranteed drops a la Eterna from those two things. So I will be farming T7s just to get a feel for it and reporting back on that, because I do typically put out a T7 video every season. So you can be looking forward to that. I will let you know how that goes as soon as I possibly can. Going into our first big loser, Iris 2. Oh my goodness. They didn't really have to do much, and they just obliterated this character, I think. You've already got nerfs to the Magus defenses. You've already got nerfs to the Kismets, lowering their effectiveness for Magus power. But then they gave her minus 50% additional damage when you take the first optional node, and it's the one you always take. You're always taking Whirlwind Tango. You're never taking the other one ever. Maybe somebody will try to figure it out now to what that is, but right now, that's a crazy modifier. Because let me just explain. If you don't know how that works, that modifier applies at the end of your damage calculation, which means no matter what you do to increase your damage, that modifier is going to come in and just nuke your damage by 50%. Period. You can't counteract it. You can't stop it. That is a end of calculation. If you were doing 100 damage, you're now doing 50 damage. Deal with it. That is holy. That's rough. That's rough, dude. Next up, aura stackers. Aura stackers. I've seen people say both nerf and buff on the Lone Walker boots changes, but just in general, aura effectiveness has been reduced by about 100% across the mods. I see people arguing in this camp, but it seems like 100% aura effect is a lot. We'll see how this actually pans out going into the season. But right now, it does not look very good for aura stackers, but we will have to see. One of the other ones that I wanted to talk about is the Spell Burst Activation Medium. Oh boy. Not only did it get a damage nerf, so instead of going up to 25% additional, it is now a static 10% additional. Every time it triggers, you get 40%, you get minus 40% move speed for 2 seconds. On top of like a bunch of other things getting like minus 30% on their things. Like Yuga 1 just has minus 30% attack movement speed now. So yeah, there's that. Also, you know what? Let's make it 9. This will be a good one. Belts. Belts are gonna pop off this season. Okay, belts are gonna be huge. The modifiers that you can get on belts are crazy. You can, for example, get the numb effect stacking from Erica 2 and put it on Erica 1 with the belt. You can put modifiers on your like it's not locked to just your rare belts either. You can even put mods on like an eternity belt. Like it's crazy how strong these are going to be. Just looking through the few that we were able to see during the live stream and just like taking and stopping and looking at those, belts are going to be crazy this season. So if you're thinking about like skipping the league mechanic, I highly suggest you don't do that. Belts are going to be cracked for damage, for utility, for whatever you need them to be. Don't skip out on belts. Just don't do it. They're insane. Like look at some of this stuff. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's crazy. But anyway, that is my list of some of the biggest losers and some of the biggest winners. Again, if you want to see the full patch notes, I will have them linked in the description. The season will be starting next Thursday, the 17th at 10 p.m. EST. So I hope to see you guys there. I will be live streaming both on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for making it this far. Like and sub if you already haven't. Have a good day. Bye.